Good morning, friends. Myself, Dr. Piyush Bala, Department of English, DSPMU University, Ranchi, Jharkhand. The talk of today's lecture is Creation of E-Content, Issues and Challenges. E-learning has become the need of the time. It has also become an effective tool of learning and also sharing ideas, values on large scale through medias, web pages to the virtual community. The entire world today is looking towards the personalized or flexible form of teaching or learning, and this e-learning has become very much effective to fulfill this particular personalized or flexible form of learning. Now, the idea of e-learning or is not a new idea. Actually, it had come itself in 1986, which was advocated by the National Policy of Education in India, where the policy advocated for the reformation in education system, and they wanted that there should be some new technology or method of teaching should be inserted. And for this, they had also emphasized for computer based learning. They found that the computer was one of the most effective tools that could be used for learning and to bring out change in the education system. And this educate and with the expansion of computer with the expansion of computer became very much user friendly, and teacher itself, they found it very easy working on computer, and they also wanted to bring this particular technology into the teaching field. And to a large extent, this particular teaching method, that is e-learning with the help of computer, has been very much successful. So what is e-content? E-content is something that the content or the development of resources, educational resources, learning resources, which can be shared on for the virtual community, which can be shared for the virtual community on electronic media. It is an electronic content, e-content, and it is also shared on electronic media, that is e-media, where the large number of people, the virtual society, could access this out and bring it into utility. Now, I would say that e-content has not only been confined to the education system. We can find that e-content has become useful in every field. It may be agriculture, it may be medical science, it may be other small scale industries, or everyone, they are very much convenient working on this computer or electronic based system, and so it has become very much easy and convenient, and it is even affordable. It becomes very affordable to manage, even for to manage a large scale of population. So what is that e-content has made, and further I would say that e-content has made education approachable to everyone. The best part of e-content is that earlier what we had a that education, if you look into the in the context of India, what you find that education is very much limited. But the reason behind is that the number of schools and the population as compared to, then you'll find that the schools are very few in number if compared to the children who wants to acquire knowledge. So how fruitful this e-learning has become, that the students who want to acquire knowledge, who want to pursue different courses, but they cannot get enrolled in some person placed institution, so what they can do, they can go for distant learning, or that is virtual learning. And for this, e-content has been very much successful and has become a very effective method of teaching. So e-content has reached to the large number of people who wants to pursue education or who wants to get their degree done somewhere. So it has become very much effective, you can say. And e-content is not the teaching through e-content is not a new thing, as I told earlier, because if you look into the age of 1950s, where television or radios, they were also helpful helpful in sharing knowledge, and that was also a e-content, that was also through media. It was not that the person would be available to each one learning there or acquiring it face to face or something like that. It was all virtual, it was virtual, and it was very much effective. And what was the main purpose of this kind of things is that direct class teaching could not be made possible for each and everyone. So it was that this kind of virtual teaching, that is through radio or television, it was that knowledge was shared, and we would even find Krisi Darshan for farmers there. And virtual mode was also present in 1950s. But in this 20th or 21st century, what we can find that e-learning has become one of the most effective and most applied technology in teaching. It has replaced education by person and place to a large extent. It has placed, and it is even very helpful that it is person and place teaching would only would limit education from a certain people only. But this virtual learning has made teaching effective. From the you can get knowledge, or you can enhance your knowledge, or you collect the ideas from people sitting far away even, by blogs, by YouTube. There are certain platforms where you get where people share their knowledge through Instagram and all that, and people acquire it. So it was e-learning has become very much important tool and with effective technology. So even the rise of education, the demand of education has become the education has become very much demanding, and everyone wants to get educated. So what you find is that e-learning is online courses, online teaching has also been approved by the government, and government wants to make this very as an important method of teaching. Even the government is inclined to make it as an important method of teaching, so that the large number or the large population can get educated to it. So it was that, and there are certain bodies like NCERT, NPTEL. They frame their syllabus. They have started framing their syllabus based on web courses. They have web courses, and they frame their syllabus accordingly. That they know that it is the syllabus should also be, the curriculum should also be for the virtual learners. It should be of such kind. And even UGC and other government organizations, they have also suggested for this kind of e-learning, e-teaching. And there are certain platforms of government, that is Sagun, Diksha, ePathsala, SWAM, National Digital Library, virtual labs, where you can acquire knowledge with the help of e-learning. These are free of cost. You don't need to pay money for these things, and you can have whatever resources you want. And there are other platforms also. There are certain apps like Baiju, Dexler, Educom. But you have to get these apps, and only then you can avail the resources, whatever is there present there on these platforms. But before getting into this e-learning process or e-teaching process, what is the main thing? There are certain features that one needs to follow. One has to do it, and without that, e-learning or teaching cannot be successful. It cannot be beneficial. The aim cannot be fulfilled. There are certain things before the e-content development or the creation. Certain things has to be looked upon. Only then a particular or a very fruitful resource can be created. And there are certain features which I would like to mention, which every e-content creator should implement, should practice into before getting into e-content creation. The first significant feature that I would mention here is investigation. By investigation, what I mean here is that the e-content developer, whoever wants to develop the e-content or the e-resource for the learner, should first investigate, get into the field, that who the audience is, what is the requirement of the audience, what actually the audience is looking for, and then you get into the creation. Then you select the subject matter. That is, and just because I want to do this kind of e-content and I'm going to put on my web pages or any other e-platforms, that won't work, because you won't find it having any utility. You should know the utility of the audience or the learners. Only then you can say that e-learning will be very much successful, or your the content development, the creation of the content can be of any utility. Second, I would put emphasis on planning. Now, planning is what? How you are going to plan, how you are going to make, you have selected the area. By investigation, you have selected the area, that which area you are going to work upon. The resource is going to be developed. Next is planning. How you are going to plan, how you are going to carry that development, that creation. That is what. And there are certain things that planning needs, that what ideas, what views, what videos or anything, the what text you need to put into for the proper development or the proper creation of content. What are these things? You need to plan all these things before creation. You have to do it. So planning is very much essential. You need to plan it out with certain features putting into it. It may be pictures, text, videos. These are the animations that can make, suppose you are planning to create a content for the kids, and if you just simply put the text and all that, the kids won't find it interesting. So you need to put some cartoons, animations, so that it becomes interesting for the kids. And when you go for looking for the higher class, then you need to make it of that standard, that okay, this is the standard, I have to put certain things into it, whether the video should be there or the text, or the the length of the text, the length of the videos, the length of the audios. This all you need to plan it out, what will be the materials that you have to insert in it. Now is that progress. The third feature that one needs to follow is the progress. So what is progress? Progress is how the e-content is going to move further, how you are going to progress it. You have planned, you have made an investigation that this is the particular content I am going to develop, this is the need of my audience. So by selecting the content, you have done the investigation. Now you have planned that what contents, what are the things that you are going to insert in your e-content. Now how you are going to make it progress. Now progress is something that okay, I have developed the e-content. Now is that how you are going to make it useful, that learners, they grasp the e-content, the resource, and to find out that okay, there are certain things they would like to know further, they would like to. So for them you can share links, that okay, you refer to certain links, you will get more resources related to it, because one content is only a limited one, the creation of one content is limited. So you can suggest them certain links, you can give them MCQs, multiple choice questions, so that they can solve out according to it, and you can suggest some of the blogs and references from where they can make it progress, where they can progress themselves. So these are the things also should be there. Now is testing. The fourth feature that one needs to work upon is testing. Testing is what? When you create the e-content, now you need to find out on your own. First you need to test it out, that whether there is some mistakes, there are certain errors that has been left out, or there are certain part which should have been included in that e-content, but it has been left out by ignorance or some by mistake or any other reason maybe. So by testing you come to know your own shortcomings where you have done this, and you can rectify it, you can bring the changes before placing the e-content on the virtual community, on the virtual platform, for the virtual community. So this is testing makes the e-content very much appropriate, you can say. It makes the content very much appropriate. Now is that fifth I would like to mention is execution. Now execution is one of the very important part of e-content. Very important part, because it is how you are going to manage it, how you are going to manage the e-content, how you are going to make the people know about your e-content, and how you are going to control it so that it is not misused and how you're going to manage that everyone comes to know about your e-content. Only if you just share it out on your YouTube channel, so and you are silent about it, so people won't come to know about that. Or you write something, you need to make it aware, you need to spread it out, that okay, I have made a e-content, this is the platform where I have shared. So as a audience, you need, if you want, if you are interested, if this is your area, you need to go and refer my e-platform area, you will get this kind of resources. So you need to spread it out. This is a whole management process, that how you are going to make it effective and work it properly and be maximum utilized. So this is execution is one of the very important to make e-content very much successful, to make it work out. And last is assessment. Assessment is very important. When you put the e-content, you need assessment is not you need to do on your own, because testing you have done already. So you need not to assess it on your own. Now you need to do is, assessment should be done by a audiences, by the virtual learners. They will assess your, and there should be one section on in this e-content development where the people can give the feedback, and through this feedback you can come to know that what actually is more the requirement of the audience. Once you have investigated, that is on your own, you have done. Now the investigation through feedback, you get the investigation done on the part of the audience. The virtual learners, they will point out that what more could be added out, what could be more beneficial for them if you could have done this kind of work, or the e-content developer could have selected this area, had done these other resources, you could have inserted it. So feedback is important, and feedback helps you in improving your e-content. The first e-content development, whatever you have done, by the help of the feedback, you can improve your e-content and repost it. It will be reutilized in a proper manner, in a beneficial manner. So this is one of the very important thing, that is you need to assess it, but assessment should be done on the feedback of the virtual learners, not on your own, because testing is all that you have done on your own. Next, I would concentrate on is, that is what actually should be the aim, and what actually is the aim of e-content. So the first thing, that the aim that the e-content has is, teacher should be perceivable to learners. He or she, whoever is the e-content developer, should know the e-learners, should be approachable in the sense that he or she should be very close to the e-learners. Second, the e-learners should have the power of thinking and knowledge. The e-learners should also be perceivable. The point is that. And the third is that e-learner, after learning whatever he grasps, he should be or she should be in the condition of sharing that knowledge. He or she should be satisfied first by sharing the knowledge within himself. He or she should be satisfied by the knowledge what he has gained through e-learning. Second, he should be able to relate it to others, that okay, I have gained this kind of things, only then there can be that you have learned something. And third is that the e-content learner should also be able to make the teacher or the mentor, to make it understand what he has understood. So a teacher should also be satisfied that e-learner has learned something. So lastly, you can say that teacher and learner both should be satisfied while sharing the knowledge, and other by acquiring the knowledge. So this is the main aim of e-content. This is how the e-content development of e-content can be fulfilled. Now is that even UGC has set some guidelines which one needs to follow about in the regard of e-content development. Is some of the guidelines is like objectives, that I told you need to investigate that what is actually the need, subject mapping, that is how you are going to plan, how you are going to make it progress, then what pictures, text and animations are required, how you are going to make it, plan and progress it, that is what I told you, the video assignments. Again, testing is you need to find out whatever the shortcomings is, you need to change it and improve it out, and again you need to make mcqs, tutorials and quiz, just to find out whether the student or the e-learner has acquired what you have actually taught to them. So and there should be also a platform or the space for FAQs, frequently asked questions, so that one can solve it out, that whatever you have taught, and if there is some doubts or something like that, then that can be sorted out through FAQs, the question that is put before, and the e-content developer or the creator or the mentor has to answer it out to the students. Now is that now I would shift to main issue and challenges. See, it is very easy to say that, okay, e-teaching and learning should be brought into practice. It is high time. But there are certain basic problems. There are certain basic needs which needs to be first changed, first corrected out, and first infrastructure based or human resource, with the help of human resource, it should be trained or it should be made up to date before implementing e-learning, e-teaching or e-content creation. And what are the main thing that comes as a hurdle in e-content teaching and learning? There are certain things. E-content teaching and learning or e-content creation is simply not a cup of tea that can be done. Just we can plan it today, and in the evening we can plan it in the morning, and it can be worked out in the evening. It is not possible. There are certain things which has to be fulfilled if you want, and if we want actually to have a proper implication of this tools and technology. The first problem that comes is that learning about computers and internet. The first thing is that the person who is a e-content creator should have the knowledge of computer and internet. Until and unless a person is not aware with the e-content computer and internet, he or she cannot carry on the e-content development or creation. So the first thing is that the technology literacy should be fulfilled here. So the person or the creator who has been assigned or who has taken the task of creating e-content should be a technology literate person. Second is that learning with computers and internet. So now is that the creator, the mentor has to be very much literate in technology. Second is that even the e-learners, the virtual learners or the audience should have also be very much competent enough with technology literacy. He should or she should be a literate person, so that he or she can handle the computer where the resource has been placed. So both should be very much competent. So if we don't have these basic things, so e-content creation is very big challenge. It cannot be, and for this particular thing the creator should have a proper training. Until unless the creator doesn't have a proper training, it is not possible to create e-content. It's not possible. So for this there should be certain training centers, government should provide trainings, certain courses should be implemented, and the teacher or the mentor should go through this short-term courses and only then get into the field of e-creation. And even the where the audience or the school, in the schools where we are about to implement this e-learning, then the students also should get the training of these kind of technologies, that how they are going to handle it out, how they are going to operate it. Now is that teaching learning through computers and internet. Now that is the third what I told you, that first is the teacher should know, second is the students should know, and third is that both the teaching and learning should come up on one level. That is, e-content possible is only possible on community level teaching with the helpful skills development. There are certain skills or there are certain technologies which you need, and it should be very much curriculum based. It should not be in a very haphazard manner, that anything that is related or anything I can insert it, that and it should be in a very organized manner, that step 1, step 2, step 2, step 3, these things should be followed before getting into that what should be the level. These are these three important basic challenges that we face in creation. This is where we need to get one needs to get trained. Well, not only one, the developer is not only the problem, the even for whom you are developing, he or she should be also a very trained person. Now the main challenge again here is that the main challenges that I come through is that there is lack of competent mentors. So what happens that e-content development is only possible that the person who is enthusiast or who has an enthusiasm in this particular area. Everyone cannot do this. Until unless you don't have an interest, you cannot carry this e-content creation. So it is that we need to have a very competent mentor who has the interest, who is in a position to invest his time, invest his passion. He has a passion for it. So we need to look into everyone. XYZ just implementing e-learning into a school or university or any other organization won't work out, because everyone doesn't have that interest in tools and technology. So it's very difficult. So we need to first find out who can be a very competent mentor for this. So this is only then the e-content can be very much successful, professionally very successful, because these are very professional things. Because you have to bring it into just like a market. It is these platforms are like a market where you need to place the things, and it should be you need to sell it out. It should be sold. So this is only possible if you have a good mentor who can do the creation with full enthusiasm, with full passion, and he is in a mood to give time, how to execute, how to bring the audience, create the interest in the audience, and all this. Second thing is the efficacy of learning. Now is that efficacy of learning is the importance of the subject matter. E-content mentor may have interest, okay, that I'm interested because I love operating on computers. I am a man who has inclination for tools and techniques, but it should be curriculum based. Therefore, there can be only selective number of people who will be finding this inclination towards a particular area. So what is that? Efficacy of learning is that what is taught and what is presented before the virtual learners, it should be very much balanced. It should be very much balanced, and it should be needful. It should be needful. Why will the audience come if it is not needful to them, if it is not of any utility to them? It should have utility. So the content taught and the content presented should be very much of concern. It should have a concern with the audience. It should have a relation with the audience. And only how the relationship can be created only when the audience find the content needful. So it is one of the very big challenge that when you create, it should be needful. So anything creation cannot work. Now the other challenge is that deficient learner enthusiasm and commitment. So now what is that? Virtual learning has a large platform. You have a big number of population there. You don't know who the learner is. Now what happens in that area, that if there is large number of learners and every learner has their own mind, own interest of area, and accordingly what happens that every learner cannot be interested in the same area. If I am a teacher of English, and if I am teaching Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, and it is not that I can create by every students won't be interested in learning Shakespeare's Macbeth, won't be interested in learning Macbeth. But if it is in the syllabus, I have to do it, and students itself, they will have to do it. But this is where the deficient learning enthusiasm and commitment should be created. Now, what is that? You need to create enthusiasm in the students and make the students committed towards the subject matter. So this is also a very important challenge. It is a big challenge before the creator, e-content creator, that how he is going to create interest in the students and students get committed, because it is related with the curriculum. Both has to do, the creator also has to do, and the students, they have also to do. So it is how they are going to. So this is one of the, I find, the biggest challenge to create enthusiasm and interest and commitment, to develop commitment among the students. So this is also very important factor in e-content creation. You have to keep in mind before creating it out. Now is renovating monotonous subject matter into interesting e-learning. That is what, if you have if you have some curriculum in your some topic in your curriculum which is very monotonous and very depriving, everyone finds it, then how interesting you can make it. And to make the subject matter interesting is one of the very important factor in e-learning, e-content development. It is very challenging for the e-content developer or the creator or the mentor. It is very important thing. Now it is person place teaching. As e-learning has replaced person place teaching, so is what that everyone would not be very much efficient or may not have interest in e-learning and e-teaching. So that there should be flexibility. I would say that there should be flexibility in the thing, that the thing should be e-learning should be made so it should be very much easy, convenient, that the people don't take it as a burden, that okay, I have to sit on my computer, I have to work on it. Certain things should be made very much convenient according to the virtual learners, that what they want, there should be certain options before them. You give them options so that they can select that whichever is convenient for them, they can go through it. As in classroom teaching, some may be interested, but here as e-learning, you need to be very much optional with the students, that whatever is your choice, you go through that. Then only then the interest should be can be developed, sorry, the interest can be developed among the students. And again, there are certain other tools and these are person, that is human resource based challenges. Now the challenges which I will be talking about is based on tools and technology based challenges. And before getting into e-content, we need to go through and those challenges. One has to first overcome those challenges, only then e-content development can be possible. So it is, the first challenge is internet. Internet is we all know that internet is very slow slow running thing in India, and through this it is not possible to operate everything through e-learning. It's very difficult. It becomes a very hurdle, and especially in the for the peoples living in the village area or the terrain areas, they find it very difficult to operate through internet, the things being operated through internet, because most of the time the net is not doesn't work properly. There is failure, the cyber problem is there, or something, some sort of problem erupts there. So this particular problem should be sorted out, because e-content creation or e-learning cannot be possible without internet. It is important tool there. It is important tool, basic tool, you can say. Now is the electricity. Electricity is also important for this e-learning, because one has to run the computer or anything. It is all based, electricity is required there. Even if you have a mobile, you need to charge it, and after that only you can operate on it. So, and there is also a problem of low voltage. You cannot run your computer sometimes, or the tools cannot be operated in this low voltage. So electricity is also one of the problem that comes in e-content learning or e-content creation. Only creation cannot help. It has to be executed on certain platform properly. Only then the aim of the e-content creation can be fulfilled. Now is economic condition. Economic condition is that we need to be very much developed ICT. Information computer technology should be very much developed, and for this you need a good economic resource and economic help. What you find, many of the schools or universities, they don't have so much of fund to have so much of computers, good number of computers, so that each and every student can avail it. In that circumstances, or in that situation, what happens that e-learning, the motto of e-learning completely fails, because you, even if you make e-learning possible only for limited number of people, then what's the use moving it towards e-learning? Better was the traditional form of education. So e-learning is also this resource is also one of the hurdle in content creation and execution. Now is language is also a big issue, because in India, especially in India, we have people coming from different languages, and many of the schools and institutions, they have their own mother tongue through which they carry their teaching process. So in that situation, what happens, that computer is mainly based on is processed through English language. So everyone is not convenient using the English language, so there should be somewhat and there are certain resources that is available in Urdu, Hindi, or any other language, but there is limited, it is limited. So if you want to avail the resource on the large scale, you need to have the knowledge of the language English, you need to have, and only then you can survive in the field of e-learning. So this is also, so the learner should know about the language English, only then he or she can operate, or you get benefited through e-learning. Now the browser is also one of the big hurdle. Now is what browser, in what way the browser is hurdle. Now the browser is what that if you upload a video, it can be operative in one or the other browsers, but it may not be operative in all the browsers. So this is also very much this creates a limitation in e-content development and execution. So this is also one of the basic hurdle. So the e-content developer should be very much conscious that he should create the content only thinking about that it can be utilized, it can be placed or it can be user friendly on large scale browsers in different browsers. That is also. Now awareness is very important. That is what how you are going to make the citizens make aware that what is the importance of e-learning, and what is the importance of that particular resource, or that particular e-content development or the creation, is that how useful the thing or the material is for the citizens or the audience. So this is also the thing you need to manage out very properly, that you need to spread the things, that okay, there is certain resources on this platform, e-platform, where you can go and use it, and it is very much needful for you, it will be very much helpful, and it will be a utility for the person concerned. These are the things you need to be very much acting upon, making it and only the evolution of this e-learning can be carried out. You need to evolve it among the people. Now is acceptance. Now the acceptance is also a big hurdle, that whether the people will accept it out or not. Whatever you have created, is that people will be accepting the thing, or be finding it very much essential for them or not. Sometimes what happens, you do the investigation very properly, you plan it very properly, execute it out very properly, thinking about the need of the people, you do testing, but when you place the resource, what you find, that very few number of people have gone through it. It is not, and that makes the e-content creator a bit losing hope. Somewhere the motivation gets he gets lost, or feels demotivated, that if my resource was not good enough, or as a teacher, am I not a good teacher, or something like that. But it is not so. No, it is a big mistake if you think so, or if be any one of us be think so. It is not that. It is what happens, that the people don't accept it out. The acceptance is very few. People don't want to go through e-learning. That is also one of the issue that makes the resource being less utilized or being less referred to on the web or the electronic media. So people are not interested. That is also acceptance leads to that. So acceptance is a big challenge, that if people are going to accept me or accept XYZ, any one of us on e-platform, that is also becomes very challenging to make yourself acceptable there. Now is one thing is that flexibility. Now flexibility is a very important thing that I would mention here, that flexibility should be there. People should not be compelled. As I mentioned earlier also, that things should be very much flexible, that whether one wants to go through e-teaching or one wants to go through e-learning or not. It should not be made compulsion. Any mode of teaching should not be a compulsion based. That actually creates de-interest among either the students, they are going to lose interest, or the teachers, if they are compelled to create e-content, they will lose interest in teaching. So it should be very much flexible, that whether the person is convenient, okay, he or she can carry. If the learner is convenient, he or she can be he or she can carry. It should not be very much compulsion should not be there. Now is that digital technology is also very much important thing, that everyone cannot have computer at home, everyone cannot be very much may not be having very good hand at technology. That is also one important thing, that digital technology also creates a hurdle in e-content. You create a e-content thinking about 100 students, and only 10 or 20 students are able to work on it, because they are not good enough on this digital technology. So what happens, that again the e-content creation doesn't fulfill its aim or fulfill its goal. And that is also a big hurdle, digital technology. So I would say that these are certain issues and challenges that we need to improve before getting into e-creation, and some of the things still last while going through e-content development, and it is a process of continuity. These challenges and issues will come as a hurdle. It is not going to make it, anything cannot be 100% effective or 100% convenient, or 100% implication cannot be successful. So we have to go in this way only. So and in this if suppose infrastructure, the institutions or the schools, they are not rich in infrastructure, and if they allow their students to bring computer or their own device into school, then that also becomes very challenging for the teacher, that the students don't know what the students are going to use, how which websites they are going to refer, and that it can also distract the mind of the teacher and the students who is there teaching. And in that condition, what happens, the tension between the students and the teacher, it grows, and it is very difficult to sort out. And even teachers, they have to look into the legal process, or look into the safety of the students. So it is a very tough challenge to manage e-learning into a classroom. If you going to use computer, or you're using your laptop or anything in the classroom, that becomes very difficult, allowing the students to bring their own device. So there are certain things, the challenges is something that continues. So these are the things we have to live with. Lastly, I would say that in my conclusion, I would conclude my lecture with my own views, that okay, e-content for teaching learning is no doubt is a very good idea. It should be implemented, but and this tools and technology cannot replace pen and person and place teaching. It cannot replace chalk, person and place teaching. So it should not be made, the teaching should not be completely shifted on e-learning. It should be something like 40-60, that okay, 40% of the teaching can be carried out through e-learning, and 60% should be still on person and place teaching. And I myself as a teacher would never accept, and I don't find it even very interesting to deliver my lectures much on media, that is electronic media. I prefer my personal interaction with my students in the classroom, um, in that particular place. That is, I feel, very cozy and very convenient and very peaceful, getting in touch with my talks with my students. And that is all in my lecture today. Thank you.